Let's get it, baby. GMGP. It is Monday, March 2nd. Hold on. I got to get Jay Rich in the screen. Now hit my music, Jay. Hit the music. Redo it, baby. GMGP. It is Monday, March 2nd, 2026. We back. It's Monday. We're feeling good. People talking about we're late, Jay. We're trying to get it together. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've been here on Monday, but we appreciate each and every eye, each and every ear in the building. I hope y'all had a phenomenal weekend. NFL Scouting Combine in the books, Jay Rich.
Shame.
Oh, no, we don't want to shame it yet. We don't want to just shame it just yet, baby.
Shame.
But we got the people in the building. Yes, it is Monday, bright and early, and they're saying they cannot wait to hear your takes, Jay Rich, after everything this weekend. I know you watched all of it. I know you were tapped in from start to finish, so we will get the Jay Rich analysis. What's up, Jacob? I see you, Surge, in the building. Dom, Co-World, TDE. Angel Rams, late GQ. Nah, man, always on time. It's always on time, baby. It's the right time every time. What's up, Jason? Steven in the building. Brandon in the building. Dom, Honcho, Jorge from Rhode Island. Cozy Jackson. What's going down with you, Paul Clark? We got Ice Walrus in the building. That's a new name. Patrick in the building. Mr. Gout. We got the crew. I see Jeff in here. What's going down, baby? We got a lot to talk about. And guess what, Jay? Guess what, Jay Rich?
What?
I'm off work today, so we just gonna go.
Let's go.
We're just gonna go till we can't go no more. But we appreciate each and every eye, each and every ear in the building. Do us a favor if you're here, if you're watching, if you're live, if you're engaging, if you're having a good time, show some love, show some support by hitting that thumbs up button. And yes, you saw in that intro video package, Jay Rich did drop that KC Concepcion piece. Check him out, wide receiver out of Texas A&M. Didn't get any 40 times out of KC. We'll talk about it, Jay. We'll talk about it. It's a little concerning that KC didn't run in Indy. I don't think so, but we shall talk about it. Check out the video on the channel. A lot of dope prospect profile mini movies brought to you by yours truly, or your very own. Not yours truly, but your very own Jordan Richards, the Canadian. Jay Rich, how was your weekend? How does it feel to be back on a Monday, my guy? It's been a while since we've been here on a fine start to the week. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been tough, man. You know, usually I'm sleeping right now, wondering what I'm going to be doing to start my day, probably go to the gym. And you decided to throw that all off by asking me to come up, wake up early Monday morning once again. But I'm excited, man. It was a good weekend. I probably enjoyed the combine the most I have, I'd say, in years. You know, for so many years, it's been so fantasy-focused, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. But this year, I was like, you know what? They're not that good anyways. Let's watch the offensive linemen. Let's watch the linebackers. Let's watch the DBs. And that was a pretty big show, I thought, from a lot of those guys. So I enjoyed it, man. I thought it was a good weekend. I thought it was a good combine. Fastest combine in history at every position but quarterback, which is interesting, you know. That we always talk about that Indy track. It's getting faster and faster every year. Are the players getting faster? Look, maybe they are. Maybe
y'all
they
told me
are,
this
but
class
it's
was
very
sorry.
interesting. Very interesting.
You told me this draft class was sorry. They're out there running fast as shit out there, Jay Rich. You told me this class was sorry.
Everybody's running a 4.4, right? Well, not
you get a
everybody.
4.4. There was a comment in the chat, Jay. And before we get going, we got to address this. Daniel wants to know 40 times. Why is it always so big like this? We gotta shrink it a little bit, Jay. What would your current 40 time be, Ray? And what was your 40 time back when you were balling? Current 40 time, I don't even want to get out there.
You could hit a 4.5 though, couldn't you?
Back when I played,
yeah.
The fastest I ever, and you know people tell lies. The fastest I was ever clocked at laser redshirt freshman season was a 4.56. That was the fastest that I was clocked at. It was a 4.56.
That's pretty fast.
Right now, a 5.2 40. Because I'm terrified that after that Achilles injury.
I don't want to know.
After that Achilles injury, I was never
that fast though. Not even
after that, there's no more straight line speed for me. It's a lot of golf swing, Jay Rich. A lot of golf.
Old man's game. I like it.
Old man's game, man. I'm enjoying it, though. I am enjoying it, my friend. Okay, so we do have a lot of combine coverage we have to talk about, but the NFL is king. The NFL leads it, and there is some interesting news about some of your boys in the NFL, Jay Rich, starting with Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, in consideration for the, let me make sure I got this right here, Jay. Okay. Let's pull this up. Consideration for the Vikings quarterback position.
Really?
Vikings.
But
What about
interesting?
What about 9? What is this? Well, let's read what Jeremy Fowler said. Kyler Murray, Geno Smith are strong considerations for the Viking at quarterback, with Tua and Kirk Cousins being on the radar as well. That and much more. Scouting Combine Notebook. This has been talked about by quite a few people. The Dolphins are going to get rid of Tua post June 1 cut.
June 1st, yeah.
June 1st cut. A lot of money, a lot of dead money for Miami, but it looks like they're ready to move on. But talk about this Geno Smith, Kyler Murray thing and what this means for your boy 9.
I mean, it's not looking good for 9, right? It's not looking good at all for 9. And, all the names you brought up, the one common denominator is they're going to come in cheap. Every single one of them. Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Tua Tagovailoa, Kirk Cousins.
Kyler comes cheap too? He'll be cheap too?
They'll all have to be cut, right? Because all their franchises have them on big money contracts. They don't want to have them anymore, so they're going to come cheap. Every single one of those quarterbacks will come cheap unless Arizona, for some reason, plays hardball and keeps Kyler on the roster, which, I mean, we kind of know that's not going to happen. No. But until it happens, it's not going to happen. But then at that point, they would have owed him the salary for this season, $40 million, $50 million, whatever it is for Kyler for that number. And he'll sign, like we've seen in the past, Russell Wilson, perfect example recently, for that $1 million contract to a new team. So that's why it's interesting, because if this wasn't the case where you have 4 quarterbacks that we would say, for the most part, Geno's kind of the one that maybe we wouldn't say should be a starter. Kirk, kind of the same breadth, but definitely Tua and Kyler, like, they're probably going to get another starting job at some point somewhere. And if they come in for $1 million, more than worthy of bringing them in, even if you still believe in 9. Like, try and get the best out of your team. And that means bringing in a Kyler Murray. That means bringing in a Tua Tagovailoa, Geno Smith, a Kirk Cousins. But I think the market for these guys should be big. Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. The Jets need a quarterback. And all these guys should come in relatively cheap. Why wouldn't the Jets even give Kyler $20 million, knowing he's getting paid another $40 from Arizona, simply because they need a quarterback now? They don't need it next year or the year after that. They need him now. But 9, it's not looking good, especially because they fired Kwesi. And it doesn't seem like that whole plan has worked out. And we always talk about how he hasn't played a lot of games. But even still, if you're making that decision now, that means you probably already decided he is not your quarterback for the future unless something drastic changes.
Man, the NFL is just a brutal place. We were talking pre-show, and I'm like, damn, I'm kind of feeling bad for old 9. He didn't play his full rookie year, goes out there year 1 as a starter. There were some flashes. There were also some very bad portions of his game. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Right? Where there's smoke, there's fire. And for a while, I didn't think there was any truth to this. There's no way they're going to bring in real competition to push him and potentially take him off of the field. Jay, I just wasn't, no way. No way. Yeah. You spent the top 12 pick on him. He missed his whole rookie year. You got to see what you have. Kevin O'Connell has spoken so glowingly about this young man. He's got to be the guy. And then you see all of this stuff. Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, Cousins coming back, Tua. I mean, how do you think this plays out? Right? Ultimately, how do you think this plays out? There's a lot of smoke there, Jay.
I mean, I think at worst, they bring in Kirk Cousins. If you're Kirk Cousins, why wouldn't you want to go back to Minnesota? He's talked glowingly about Minnesota. His wife loves Minnesota. Like, he's going to come in cheap for sure, because I don't think any team's going to pay him any more money. I think he's currently the 5th highest grossing quarterback in NFL history, or probably grossing player in NFL history in terms of total dollars made.
Who's that, Kirk Cousins?
Yeah. He's like right behind Tom Brady for total earnings in the NFL so far. Wow. Kirk Cousins is, which is insane, but it is what it is, right? But yeah, like, to me, that's the fit. He's played in Minnesota. He's played under Kevin O'Connell. It makes sense. If they can get a Kyler Murray, great. But I think they're more in the realm of Geno, maybe Tua, Kirk, and then the other one is the Indianapolis Colts are allowing Anthony Richardson to explore a trade. Yeah, and everyone brought up the video of Kevin O'Connell talking to Anthony Richardson, telling him to keep going, keep pushing. And that could be another potential fit for Anthony Richardson and 9 in Minnesota. Think about that QB battle, Ray. Your boy, A-Rich, versus 9 for the starting quarterback job in Minnesota in 2026.
We need hard knocks to follow them.
We need boots on the ground
I'll be there. I'll be there. Me and Thor Nystrom would be right there. Thor with that 9 jersey on and me with that A-Rich jersey on. It's it really, when you just think about it, it feels like it was just yesterday where everybody in the football world was in love with Keon Coleman and his yellow bubble jacket, and everyone loved Xavier Worthy and his country fake-ass accent talking about eating raccoons. Everyone loved J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell, and just like that, in the blink of an eye, get y'all asses on up out of here. We don't want anything to do with you now. Come on back, Kirk Cousins. We need you, Carson Wentz. Geno Smith, we know you were a bum in Las Vegas, but it doesn't matter because we got a bigger bum here in J.J. McCarthy. We got to get Anthony Richardson in to help compete and push this young man. It just shows you how quickly things change, and it happens fast, especially at that position. Oh, yeah. This is it. I think it's a do-or-die season for him, or he's destined to go on that Justin Fields path, but he doesn't have Justin Fields' legs. At least Fields can get in there and run around for 150 yards if he can't throw the damn ball. I wasn't buying in at first, Jay, but absolutely, where there's smoke, I believe there is some fire there. I still think he'll be the starting quarterback, but they're definitely bringing somebody in.
So I wanted to ask you, do you think this is an indictment on Kevin O'Connell? Right? Because there's been a lot of chatter about, was this a Kwesi decision? Is it a Kevin O'Connell decision? He's labeled as a QB whisperer.
Absolutely.
But to be fair, Nine's only played 10 games, and we've talked about that. He does need more time, but after this season, they have to decide on his fifth-year option. And it's trending towards being declined right now. So we'll see, but definitely concerning in Minnesota if you're a Nine supporter, and especially with how good this team could be if they had a quarterback.
Yeah, there's some more news quickly. We'll hit on a couple of these right now. Aaron Jones and is it Javon Hargrave from the Minnesota Vikings? More Vikings news, right? Aaron Jones and Javon Hargrave, if they can't get a trade in place or work out a deal, that the Minnesota's already informed both of them that they will be released. They save about $7 million with Jones, close to $8 million with Jones, and close to $11 million with Hargrave. Yeah. So it looks like Aaron Jones and Javon Hargrave will be free agents and find new homes in 2026. And then there was a trade this morning, right? Wasn't there a trade in the NFL? What do we have?
Yeah, so Houston traded their starting right tackle, Titus Howard, to the Browns for a fifth-round pick, and Howard got a 3-year, $63 million extension, so $21 million a year. People who maybe missed it over the past couple of weeks, the Browns currently have 0 offensive linemen signed to their rosters. This was a big move they needed to make, so they got their starting right tackle and extended him as a result. So we'll see what happens now in Houston. We know they have a lot of pending bills coming. C.J. Stroud, if they want to pay him, definitely going to be paying the edge rushers. The defensive backs have also been paid as well, so there's a lot of bills coming to pay in Houston, and it seems like they're having to once again rework that offensive line, so not great for C.J. Stroud, but hopefully they can figure that out. But yeah, Cleveland traded the fifth-round pick and extended Titus Howard, so now they have him for 4 years because he was going into the last year of his deal, and they signed him for 3 more following the 26th season.
Browns trying to get some flexibility for what they do in the draft. They got those 2 first-round picks. They're already making some moves, trying to free up some spots, or at least solidify.
That's one tackle spot, right?
At least one tackle spot. We got a tackle that will probably have a new home next year. Jawan Taylor is going to be released. And this is one where the dude lines up in the backfield every play. I mocked a tackle the Kansas City, and Chiefs fans told me, we don't need one. We got Taylor. He's good enough. We don't need one. Well, you may need one because Taylor will be out of the building. He will be out of the building and take his penalties along with him. And a few minutes ago, Dalton Reisner, Rich, the Bengals are keeping their guard in town to protect Joe Burrow. They agreed on a new deal to keep him in Cincinnati. You got to do that. You got to keep Joe Burrow upright. So Reisner, 1 year, $5 million deal to keep him as one of the primary protectors for Joe Burrow. Now, there's a lot of other ancillary pieces of NFL news, but we got to talk about the big thing that happened, Jay Rich. And this was the first time in about 4 years that we have not streamed live during the Combine. I had some family stuff to go to, double funerals this weekend that I had to go to, man. Nobody even knew that. Had some important people pass away in the family. I'll just say, take care of your people, check on your people, love on your people. Don't wait to pick up the phone to call somebody to tell them that you're thinking about them. And that's just the message for everybody out there. We're working through it. We're doing well, but it's been a rough couple of weeks, as you know, behind the scenes, Jay. But trying to get back on it, get in this Monday swing and talk through what we saw, not together this week, but what we all saw, we witnessed, we read about, we heard, we watched, we've analyzed, and now we know everything, right, Jay? We've come to so many conclusions now that the NFL scouting combine is over. So let's talk about it, Jay. You talked about it being one of the fastest combines in the history of all combines. They were out there flying. And I mean, offensive linemen flying, damn quarterbacks, Haynes King, 4.4, 4.3 QBs, running backs going crazy, receivers running fast. Jay, overall thoughts on Indy, what you saw, and how this impacts this class that maybe fantasy football people aren't as excited about it, but it sure seems like there's some damn good players NFL-wise. They're going to come in, help fit with teams, and help those teams move forward in 2026.
Yeah, this was a class that, for me especially, I think the back of the first round got stronger after the combine. I thought we saw some really good performances, especially on defense. And I think the hardest part for me that really sucked was outside of the receivers, because this is really outside of the receivers in my opinion. Every single high-end prospect delivered. Everyone that's around, the top 10, top 50, maybe not quite top 15, but definitely everyone that was projected or around that top 10, every single one of them showed out at the combine. Like, every single one of them. I was trying. First day, Sonny Styles kills it. Then you have Arvell Reese killing it on the same day. And it's just like every single time I was like, is someone going to maybe slip? Someone going to maybe lose a bit of stock because they don't quite come in as advertised? They all hit every single benchmark. If you have a top, I'd say 8-9 pick, you are just loving what you saw at the combine. Because every single player, I'd say, just about delivered what looked like a difference-making performance relative to the other peers at the combine. I thought there was a lot of good performances there, and I think the top of the second round got a bit stronger as well, more so on defense than offense. Offense was kind of okay, in my opinion, but I thought defense really showed out.
Well, let's start with the QB position. D-Bro's in the building. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat with the kind words. Most definitely. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. For real. For real. That's love. I appreciate y'all. Let's start with the QBs, Jay, because this is one we can go through pretty quickly. Fernando Mendoza didn't do anything. This is a class where a lot of people aren't overly excited about the quarterback prospects. You didn't have many do the 40-yard dash. Cole Payton, Haynes King, and Taylor Green all rolling. Hell, I was surprised that Sawyer Robinson ran a damn 4.6 out there. So to see some of those guys run fast, people love the 40, even though how it correlates to the next level isn't all that predictive. But Arkansas quarterback Taylor Green is an interesting one. Jay, he's damn near 6'6". What was he, 200? Yep. Let me see his official, 227 pounds, okay, 6'6", 227, and he runs a 4.3 40-yard dash, 43.5-inch vertical jump, 11-foot 2-inch broad jump. I mean, I don't know what they were doing to the kids in Arkansas, but my goodness, Taylor Green was out there rolling. We'll talk about another player from Arkansas shortly. What are your thoughts? Now, to be fair, let me complete the full picture here. When it was time to throw the ball, passes were going all over the place, just like they kind of do at Arkansas. But when you've got somebody that athletically gifted, what were your thoughts on Green's performance, running that fast, having that size? I know you're too young to remember this name, but there was another exciting white back in the early 2000s named Matt Jones. I mean, Matt Jones couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, but that 6'6" white boy could fly. I believe he ran a 4.3 40-yard dash. Jeez. At the combine, and you know who took him in round one? Do you know Jay Rich who took Matt Jones in round one? Was it the Raiders? Oh man, it was those Jacksonville Jaguars. They took the quarterback to convert him to receiver, and if you look up I think he played pretty decent his rookie year. I think he was decent his rookie year, but overall the project did not work out. What are your thoughts on Taylor Green, Cole Payton love for anybody in the chat?
I mean, I haven't watched a lot of Cole Payton, I'm not going to lie. I know that D-Bro loves himself some Cole Payton.
D-Bro loves him. D-Bro loves him.
But, yeah, for me, the Taylor Green, I'm not going to say it was confirmation bias. I always knew he was pretty fast. I mean, you told me in the summer that he was a quarterback that could rise if everything went right for him.
Yeah.
I feel like I bring up every mock draft because I'm like, well, he's the guy that is going to probably go 5th or 6th round at quarterback. And, like, if somehow he makes it, could be like fantasy dynamite. Obviously, I'm also here looking at Matt Jones's stats. You know, they're okay. Not so bad,
what did he do his rookie year? I don't
Well,
remember. It wasn't. What did he do?
So his best season was his second season.
Okay,
41 receptions, 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had 36 receptions for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns in his rookie season. And then his final year was actually pretty decent, 100 targets. But then I guess they didn't re-sign him, and then that was that for Matt Jones. But yeah, Taylor Green, I think, is the name you want to consider late in your drafts as just like an extra quarterback who, if he gets a shot, he can run. He's basically like, would you just say he's kind of like Joe Milton without the bazooka arm, but still a pretty good arm?
I see Jalen Milroe 2.0-ish. I think it's more Milroe.
I think it's more polished, right? Like, he kind of is.
I don't know. I think he's in that realm.
He'll probably go 5th or 6th round, like maybe
let me ask you
this.
this. Because it's easy today for people to be all in on Malik Willis. I'm all in. Give him 30 M's.
Malik Willis.
Could he be one of those guys that goes day 3, round 4, sits for a few years, gets a few... Like, could he develop into that?
I'd say it's very unlikely.
Okay.
And the only reason why is because I think that NFL GMs and decision makers at the high level in the NFL, they would rather give a Cade Klubnik, a Drew Aller, a chance. And it has nothing to do with talent or opportunity. It's literally because they were big name
talent.
Talent is part of it, but I think like when they hear Cade Klubnik, they're like, this is a kid who was supposed to be an NFL star, right? And things didn't work out, and his draft stock dipped, and we got him. That's not Taylor Green's story. He's a guy that has a lot of raw tools that needs to be refined. I think with those guys, they have a lot of talent, and it's about putting them in the right situation. And I think GMs would be willing to give them a chance over a Taylor Green.
Cole Payton, how you feeling about the Indy SU product? People, D-Bro's pumping him up.
I've heard some good things.
D-Bro's pumping him up. There have been some good. D-Bro's pumping him right now.
People like him.
He's pumping him up like those Reeboks back in the day. He's pumping him up.
If he gets like a 3rd round draft capital, I'd definitely be interested. When you get 4th, 5th, 6th, it's like I always say, like, I just believe that teams and GMs are going to give the big name guys, as much as you may hate them, as much as you think they suck, over potentially a Cole Payton. But I think he'll go to a decent spot. Like, where would you want to see him go? Is kind of the real question. I don't know either.
I haven't a clue, Jay.
Maybe the Jets could be a spot for Cole Payton, to where there could be potential opportunity for him there.
Bring him to Dallas. Hell, bring anybody behind Dak. Anyone can sit and learn behind Dak. Dallas does a good job of developing.
They already traded for Joe Milton. They're good.
We need to get out. We need to get out of those Joe Miltons. We need to get out of Joe Milton. Let's keep the train moving. Listen, Jay, I did an extensive prospect profile video on this player. Extensive. Jay, I was like, man, he's awesome. We talked about him on here, where we would rank him versus classes, how many classes he would clear, where would Jeremiah Love be in this, that, or the other, right? We've talked about him. We've read about him. But Jay Ridge, man, I did not know. I didn't know. I didn't believe. I didn't think it was possible. 4.36 40-yard dash for the 6 foot, 212 pound Jeremiah Love. He was out there flying. Jay?
He was.
I mean, I put a tweet out there over the last decade. We talked about it last week, and I'm going to run it back to you right now. The only prospects I think were better collegiate running backs coming from college going into the NFL, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson. That's it. And a lot of people try to say we try to casually dismiss Ashton Genty, yet there was a lot of conversation about the Mountain West Brian Robinson and just, are we sure he's that good because he played at Boise? 40 time doesn't mean anything in particular, right, by itself. Just running a fast 40 doesn't guarantee that you're going to be a good player in football. But when you are a great player and then you test like an athletic freak, it makes me feel a lot better about you and how you can perform at the next level. How impressed were you with Jeremiah Love's combine? How impressed were you with the fact that he went out there and competed when he didn't have to? He is the RB. He doesn't have to do a damn thing all process, and he's RB1. Doesn't have to do shit. He's RB1. How impressed were you that he measured and weighed in exactly what he's listed? He ran faster than expected. He looked good. And what I continue to say about Love is here's what differentiates him and Zeke, him and Saquon, him and Genty, maybe Bijan. I haven't looked at his numbers. Him and Taylor, definitely. He's got like 2 less years of car crashes on his body than those guys because he just was not fed the ball like that at Notre Dame. He is much fresher physically than those guys were when they left college. How impressed were you with Jeremiah Love's performances?
Very impressed. Like you said, the speed came in much quicker than expected. You know, he talked about, and they talked about on the broadcast, he stayed back to do more wide receiver drills. He was clearly the best running back there, and while we all knew that, I think for a lot of NFL GMs, especially in that top 10, they got to see him compete, not just against his peers, but for a higher draft slot to go to a better team. Like that's what Jeremiah Love was competing for. And much like everyone in that top range, they all want to go high and they all want to be drafted, you know, as close to that number 1 pick for the Raiders as they can. And I thought a lot of guys made a case to move up the board. And I think that was the hardest part about this combine is Love, just like everyone else, you know, after the combine, people said, well, why can't he go 4? Why are the Titans going to pass on Jeremiah Love? Why are the Cardinals
I mocked him 3-2 the Cardinals over 2 months ago. I was like, shit, Arizona at 3 should consider him.
And that's why I think seeing a player test like that is somewhat important for GMs. Not for us, not for fantasy, but they love to see a player that wants it so bad that they're willing to do whatever it takes, right? And that's where when you talk about Love now, talk about Styles, talk about Reese, talk about Bailey, talk about any of these guys. They could go anywhere between 2 and 10. I agree. Because that's how good all of them were. Love was no different. I thought he was phenomenal. A lot of people said best player in the class, period. And I think he showed that. I think he showed he has the potential to be the best player in the class, period, at the combine.
Yeah, man. The 4.36 really just that was a cherry, a little chocolate drizzle, a little truffle shaved. I mean, it was everything on top of an already beautifully crafted cake. That was just to see him go out there, compete. And then, you know, sometimes the first one is kind of off, and then they run a second one. It's like 4.24. Wait a minute. 4.36, 4.37. I'm a 4.3 dude. You know what? And I got receiving chops. I'm gonna ask you again, Jay Rich. I'm gonna ask you again. Right now, we know he's going to be a top 10 pick, and you said it 2 weeks ago. And I agree with you. There isn't a snowball's chance in hell the NFL will allow him to get to Kansas City at 9,
especially after the
Dream
combine.
Dad. Not a chance.
Like,
there's
no way.
They will put the Cleveland Browns will take him at 6 before they let Kansas City take him. It's not happening, Jay. How many dynasty running backs would you take over him today?
I honestly still think it's just Bijan, Gibbs, and Genty, and that's it. I'm still fine holding on to Genty over Love, and it's because I know where he's at. I like his system. They're going to improve the offensive line for sure. The quarterback play will be better. They'll get the ball to his hands much quicker. I think it'll be fine for Genty this season. You know, for people who missed it, because I don't think we're going to go this far back, at I think it was an interview, because I don't think it was actually at the podium in Indy, but Kubiak talked about how he wants to run a 2-back system, and people ran with it, right? They're Genty's dead. Kubiak's going to run a 2-back system like he did with Charbonnet and Walker. It's like, okay, but they have to actually get a running back. He can want to do a lot of stuff. I bet he also wants 3 wide receiver ones. But they can only do so much with the space they have, and there's not going to be that many running backs available. I think Genty's going to be fine. I think they bring in a pass catcher to kind of supplement what he's going to do and work some of that third down stuff. But I'm not really worried about Genty at all. I think the only 2 names ahead of Love outside of Genty for me would be Bijan and Gibbs. And especially with David Montgomery wanting out, that could elevate Gibbs all the way to
That shouldn't come as a
RB1.
surprise to anybody. David Montgomery wanting out.
Well, if it happens, though,
have
Gibbs
you just followed
RB1.
along with the stuff that was happening with him? I mean, he was on the St. Brown pot. He was about to squabble with Equinemius St. Brown. They were calling him a power back. He was all pissed off. liking posts that he should be getting the ball more than Gibbs. That was one that you could see coming a mile away if you just kind of watch their social media accounts.
For sure.
I've got the other running backs pulled up because Jeremiah Love is at the top right here, right? 4.36. But no, he's not at the top, Jay. That was not the fastest running back time at the combine. No, that belonged to Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas. Depending on which, depending on which culture's calendar you look at, astronomy, astrology, whatever it's called, he's between 23 and 26 years old. Nobody knows his true age. It is a age gate is out there. He could be 26. He could be 23. Who knows? He's 225 pounds and he ran a 4.33 at 6 foot, 225 pounds. SEC runner. He's explosive on tape. Everyone knew he was fast. They set his projected line at 4.5. And I text D-Bro and I was like, this is free money right here. This Mike Washington under 4.5. But, you know, this kind of event boosts players like this. When you've got an SEC runner who has prototypical size, he's got above elite athleticism. Mike Wash's film is fine. It ain't great. He's not this great running back. I'm not gonna say that. But man, SEC size, speed. He's an easy sell, Jay. He's an easy buy. Like you can sell me easily on him being the RB2 in this class when the presumed RB2, Jadarian Price, you see 4.49. And let me just say this.
That's a fine time.
I don't think there's a big difference between a 4.49 and a 4.56. So I'll just say I don't think Emmett Johnson's very good. His first run was a 4.6. I was like, he looks like a 4.6. He runs a 4.5. Cool for Emmett Johnson. It's the slowest on here, but overall, like that's not slow. That's more than enough speed for all the running backs listed. But Jadarian Price was somebody we thought was a little bigger, doesn't have a strong receiving profile. He runs a 4.49, which it's fine, right? But it's not this elite kind of time for a space back that you may be thinking about. And he was right at 200 pounds. He's not even that big, right? He's kind of small, not super explosive. And there's a reason why Jeremiah Love got all the damn work, right? It's amazing Price was able to do what he did with Jeremiah Love being there. But Mike Washington, for me, right now is an easy sell as the RB2 in the class, especially the way people in Dynasty play this game and what they look for. The ADV around them, people love him. He's a big SEC running back and he's fast as hell. Yeah, I can get on board with him being the second running back off the board pretty easily.
Okay, but how far do you take that, though? Because you talk about you're on board. That's good, right? You're willing to be flexible. Jadarian Price, you love the tape, does some good things. But then you hear Washington, you say SEC running back, but you kind of leave out Buffalo for 3 years, New Mexico State,
I said he was 26
Arkansas.
years old.
Right?
I said he was 26.
But to be honest, and even the little stuff that I've seen on him, you can see both the power and the speed on multiple plays. Now, again, that was in some lower competition. I was watching some of his older tape. But even still, you can see the potential. But the problem is that how far do you go with that potential? Because Washington is now a player who will be in the first round of every rookie draft. He will be in the first round of every rookie draft.
I took him at the 112 yesterday. I took him at the 112.
Do you think though he will stay around that spot? Because I think that's fine.
I think he's back
early second, especially
early
like
second.
201 to 203. But the problem for me is like, okay, what if he gets a bad landing spot? Would you be willing to then drop him?
I don't think people give a shit about the landing spot for RBs, man. I really don't. Can I get opportunity?
But we know some bad spots.
I know.
Like if he goes to the Falcons in the third round.
Well, yeah. Well, if you get buried, then yeah. If you're buried, then I don't want you.
But you may not be buried. You're behind.
No, if you go to Atlanta,
you has opportunities.
Let me give you one. Let me give you a gray sweatpants moving. You know what I'm talking about, Jay. Let me give you a spot that fantasy football people would love. I don't care if it's round 4 or round 5. You want me to give you a spot they would love round 4, round 5?
It's got to be the Chiefs, right?
No, not Kansas City. NFC. We talked about them. Somebody don't want to be there.
Seattle.
Somebody already doesn't want to be there.
Well, Detroit, yeah, but
I'm just
Seattle
saying,
would be the
if
spot.
If they moved off from Monty and took him in round 5, people would be all in. They'd be all, he doesn't have to be the primary there. They would be like, that's going to be the Monty 2.0. Let me give you another one.
Texans too.
They said there was a report leaving Indy and all the things that were coming out around teams and what they may do outside of the testing was so fascinating. But Denver could be in play in round 1.
Yeah, because they want to get someone
to
come.
What happens if he goes to Denver in round 1? Listen, I think the tape is fine. I don't think it's great. I'll stand 10 toes down on that. It's fine. He goes to Denver. He goes as a backup running back to Gibbs in Detroit. Atlanta behind Gibbs, I think people would they would like him, but they'd be like, behind Bijan.
There's only so much opportunity there. Yeah.
I think there are multiple spots where he can go and not be the presumed starter, and people would love him, Jay. So
I think the
I'm
spot
very much
really
in on
for
him.
any running back is Seattle. If you're like a 3rd, 4th round running back going to Seattle, again, depending on what happens with Kenneth Walker, but we should have that resolution by the time the draft comes. If they lose Walker somehow, they'll be in the market for a running back 100%. And at that point, we know Charbonnet's coming back, but the starting running back gig for week 1 is wide open.
People are saying the Commanders. Listen, I've mocked Jeremiah Love. It's one of our best shorts. And for a while, a bunch of people hated it. Oh, no way. We don't want to. And now, sign me up for that Jeremiah Love.
Sign me up, yeah.
I'll say this. Of all the other running backs, I need to watch some more Jamarion Miller film. I was impressed with his on-field work. I was impressed with the 40 time, obviously, and athleticism at running back does matter. And then for those of y'all who have not seen Damon Claiborne, I believe I had him RB6 in the class coming into the season in August, and this is what he is. He's I don't even want to say a poor man's Gibbs because he ain't that. He's like, I don't know who he is, but he's okay. Like, he's a good player.
A poor man's Gibbs.
He's not going to be a featured back. Okay, he's gonna have to be a complimentary spell back. He's like two levels down.
So
whatever's
like,
a level
Abdullah,
below
basically?
poor man. Give me what's a level below poor man's Gibbs? Like a level below that.
I mean, you could be looking at who's the Steelers running back, the pass catcher.
Jalen Warren? Nah, he ain't Warren. Nah, he's not Warren. Not physical.
Because Amir Abdullah out
of
Nebraska was fast.
I'll give you one. Healthy Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah.
He's a healthy Keaton Mitchell.
When was the last time we saw that?
I'm just saying that's who we put that he's got that type of explosiveness and
speed
ability.
Like that.
Healthy Keaton Mitchell. I think that's a fair, appropriate one without using A-Chain or Gibbs. I don't want to.
It's hard, right? When you have those really fast, dynamic backs, like you either are one or you ain't one, right? Like it's kind of
you
one
are
or the
you
other.
aren't 100%, dude. Somebody said 20% off discount. I think I like the Keaton Mitchell. He's explosive. Okay. I saw Debro say in the chat that he needs to check out some of the film. He's a good player. He is a good player. All right, Jay, let me see where else I want to go offensively. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the offensive wide receivers.
Yeah.
Makai Lemon, baby.
Defend your boy, Ray. Defend him.
For what?
What do you mean? Defend your boy.
What do I got to defend him for? He looked good in the. Did you see the
boy right here?
Hey,
this is your boy right here.
Did you happen? Okay, before we get to the pros, did you see the clip where the guy running the receiver drills was telling him what to do before the play? And Lemon
dogged it.
Lemon wasn't. He was listening, I guess, but he was not looking at him and paying attention. He goes up to run the damn fade out. They told him to go. They told him to run 3/4 speed. He was running about 25% speed, and the ball just. I'm like, dude, come on, Makai.
Barely threw it, and he still overthrew him by like 10 yards.
So what are you doing, man? But no, everybody is talking about his mannerisms at the podium. They're talking about how he looked. There's reports that he absolutely bombed his interviews.
I mean, the public podium was rough.
They said he got annoyed by a question. Somebody asked a question about his height, and he got annoyed, right? Again.
So you're telling me this guy is going in the top 10 has little man's complex, and he's 5'11"?
Yeah, what are you upset about?
Ray, how many girls said, "Bro, you're not 6 foot. Leave me alone," when he was at USC?
Hey, None, because I tell them I like to
here.
climb trees too, and I can chop them down. So none of them told me that. None of them, Jay Rich. But Mekhi Lemon, that obviously triggers him. That is a trigger point for him. You're 5'11", dude. You're good. Like, you don't got to be mad.
Depends who
He
you
gets
ask.
mad. He's on the podium.
You can't do that, though. Like, again, you just can't do that. And it sounds very, like, I don't know what the even word is for it, but, like, it doesn't matter who you are. You can't do that. Like, it just looks so bad.
It just optics,
looks
right?
so bad. Maybe he didn't do that in interviews. Maybe he was fine in interviews. It's not about, it's just the optics of it were so bad. And when a player does something like that, it's a big story because that is how important all these moments are. And that's how serious every athlete treats it. We've talked to tons of athletes. They're always very respectful, very calm, very collected, regardless of who we are, because they don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, Lemon wasn't doing. Let me tell you,
he did not care at all.
Lemon wasn't doing that DD interview. He wasn't doing that. He wasn't getting that. He wasn't doing that Jay Rich interview. If we'd been there, he was going to tell you get the hell up out of here.
Too tall for him.
Ultimately, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters.
You hope it doesn't matter. I think
I'll just say, no. I don't think it matters because of this, man. The Mekhi Lemons of the world. His archetype of playing receiver, it's not a unicorn. He's not Calvin Johnson. He's not damn AJ Green. He's not Jeremiah Smith. He's not Tedero McMillan from last year. He's a 5'11", primarily slot receiver. If he gets in the NFL and he's acting ridiculous, you know what will happen? He'll fizzle out. Like he just will. Yeah. I don't think that's in the cards. I don't think this is that big of a deal overall. I mean, Shador wore his hat sideways backwards with big iced out chains. And I don't think Lemon has fallen to the 5th round, but it was definitely.
But he had good interviews, though.
I don't know about the interview thing. If he's bombing interviews, I don't know who is advising Mekhi to do that, but just don't get irritated by questions. Like that's what they're there to do. So it was interesting to see that. And it was also interesting to see the panic around Carnell Tate's 4.54, I believe. 4.54 was the official time for Carnell Tate. I don't know if you saw it, Jay. He's stumbling around at the beginning and gets up to 4.5, 6'2", little under 200 pounds for Carnell Tate. I tweeted out, if you're moving him down because he ran a 4.5, don't ever post rankings again. Do you care? The two best receivers in the NFL, or two of the top receivers in the NFL, Puka Nacua and CeeDee Lamb, also 4.5 guys, 4.55 for Puka, I believe, and a 4.52 for CeeDee Lamb. Does the 4.5 worry you at all? And I can assure you can't tell the difference on tape.
I thought it was a bit faster than that personally, especially with how fast the class was. I'm not concerned because he wasn't my wide receiver 1, but I do think that if he was a bit faster, he would have cemented himself as the 1, and he didn't do that.
Did you see? He looked good on field.
He always looks good on field. He always does. But for me, it was just funny because he's everyone's wide receiver 1. He's the runaway wide receiver 1. Jeremiah Love showed out. Sonny Styles showed out, right? Like everyone who was at the top, even Spencer Fanu. Oh my God. I was watching some of his drills this morning. I didn't watch O-line. He's tackle 1. Like the number 1 guys coming in showed out at every position for the most part outside of wide receiver. Carnell Tate, I don't think, in my opinion, showed out as the 1. And I think it's interesting when you have a class with so many guys running 4.4s, 4.3s. You know how much I like Omar Cooper. I'm not trying to say Omar Cooper's better than Carnell Tate. I didn't think he was going to run a 4.42, though. And so if Omar Cooper's running a 4.42 and Carnell Tate's running a 4.5, I'm like, look, man, speed isn't everything, but it's interesting. It's interesting.
I guess the way that I view it is, I don't view it anything for receivers. Somebody put in the chat, Devontae Adams damn near ran a 4.6. Larry Fitzgerald didn't run a 4.4. It doesn't, at that position, it just doesn't matter. Can you get open?
I think the problem is, sorry to interrupt you. The problem for me, I understand it doesn't matter once they're successful. But the people making the decisions before you have that success
I feel that.
are going to weigh it, right?
It influences where they're picked. I just don't believe there's a big difference between him running a 4.47 and a 4.52. I don't believe there's any sort of difference between that an NFL team is going to significantly knock him down a board, push him up a board because of that. Not that. Had he gone out there and run like Malachi Fields, you're a mid 4.6 kind of guy. Yeah, I think that would impact it because that is significantly.
It's a much lower benchmark.
That's a much lower benchmark.
We all hoped he could at least be under 4.5. It's not different than any other running back. Every running back we say just run under 4.5 and you're golden. Like we don't care, right? Like the slot guy. If Mekhi Lemon ran and he ran under 4.5, we'd be like, oh, perfect. Like you don't got to be a 4.3 guy. But I think we all thought Tate could run under 4.5, and it was kind of disappointing he couldn't do that.
Let me just show you guys this. If you haven't, this is just ridiculous. Look at how many receivers were 4.4 flat or under. Jay, we got like 13 receivers. Caleb Douglas, Chris Brazel, Deshaun Stribling, Malik Benson, Eric Rivers, Zach Branch, Bryce Lance.
Dang.
Made some money with that 4.34 out of NDSU. Deion Burks, who I loved at the beginning of the season, damn near goes sub 4.3. Xavier Thomas, Jeff Caldwell, who's 6'4", 220 pounds, runs a 4.31.
Yeah, I think he was another one who had a perfect.
Just come on, I just draft you. You can be a gunner. We can try you out. You're 6'4", 215 and around 4.3. I'm drafting you. Brennan Thompson, man. Brennan Thompson, Jay, 4.26. He was 5'8", 122 pounds, and he runs a 4.2. Chris Brazel down there, your boy out of Tennessee, 4.37. Barry and Brown, 4.4. Omar Cooper. Antonio Williams, 4.41. You still like Boney Tony out there.
Yeah.
Jacoby, I'm seeing this, Jay. And I'm thinking Mekhi. Mekhi.
Yeah.
Jay, Jacoby, I would have bet you $1,000 he was a 4.55 plus guy.
Yeah.
If he ran 4.7, Lemon, come on, man. Mekhi,
but it's the same with Tate, right?
Go run,
he
man.
Ran, but like look at all these guys that are faster than him. And
Jeremy
again,
Bernard, sub 4.5. What?
Yeah.
Just these are all really good times. Kevin Coleman under a 4.5. Kendrick Law, Manuel Henderson, gauntlet drills pretty ugly, but you got a lot of speed. I mean, Malachi Fields was almost the slowest receiver. There was Chase Roberts, BYU and White. He was the slowest one, 4.64, man.
He just got back from a mission, Ray.
That's all right. That's all right. They're gonna redeem themselves very soon when we talk about some of the defensive side of the ball. All right, Jay, let's go to the last kind of offensive skill position group and talk about Kenyon Sadiq. 44-inch vert. Ooh. Damn near records on the broad jump. Fastest 40-yard dash time ever for a tight end. And here's where athleticism does matter. The tight end spot, there's some strong predictive nature from being athletic and playing the tight end position. Sadiq balled out. Eli Stowers looked good. I mean, RJ Maryland, right, from SMU out there running a 4.5. There were some good times out here from some of these tight ends. Even Sam Roush at his size, a 4.7, the speed score translates. Talk about Kenyon Sadiq, who I don't want to say we poo-pooed on him.
We did for sure.
There was a shard or two on Kenyon Sadiq about him really being this. I'm mocking him at the top of the second. I don't know if I would take him in round one. You're that athletic. You've got that kind of, the size. He's not like 6'6", like Rob Gronkowski. He's more of the new age slot, kind of move wide tight end position player. But you run a 4.39, you're getting drafted round one. You run a 4.39 at tight end, you're probably getting drafted top 20, Jay Rich. How high could Kenyon Sadiq go when it's all said and done?
That's the conversation that is going to make me real uncomfortable. He is a freak athlete, no doubt. No doubt about it. Kenyon Sadiq is a freak athlete. People say even his blocking on tape is still fine. Like, he can obviously catch passes extremely fast in the open field. But it's going to get uncomfortable. Like, I like Kenyon Sadiq. I don't know if I love him in the top 20, top 15. But when you run a 4.39, like, you're going to go high.
You're going to go high.
In the NFL draft.
How high is my question? Like, how high, Jay? How high could he go? Could he go 9 to Kansas City?
I don't think so. I think they have more pressing needs. I mean, could you see Baltimore pulling the trigger on Kenyon Sadiq and letting Isaiah Likely walk at 14?
Well, it already seems like Likely's gone. That's what it.
Yeah.
It seems like Likely is gone. It seems like he's gone.
14 could work. The Rams won't take one. Dallas won't.
No.
Miami would never.
No.
Detroit probably won't. Minnesota wouldn't. Like, there's just not a lot of spots I think make a lot of sense for him either.
What are the percent chances Kansas City takes him at 9?
0. I would be honestly pretty shocked, personally. They need tackles. They need edge rushers. They just need premium positions that are going to be available in the top 10. I just don't see why they would do it. Could Dallas do it, Ray? They probably wouldn't.
Probably not with they've got 27 million kind of already tied up in Pickens with the tag.
At 20, they could. If
he's not getting,
if he was there,
he's not
at 20,
getting. If he's on the board with Dallas is there, he's not getting past Tampa Bay at 15. He won't get past.
You think Tampa would take him?
Absolutely. They need a tight end as well. Sadiq looked good. Stowers looked good. I thought the tight end from Notre Dame was impressive. Bauer Sharp, I liked him a little more during the season, and he had some bad drops. I really like the Sam Roush kid out of Stanford. I mean, speed and athleticism isn't his game, but at his size, a 4.7 is more than good enough. I'll just say this. Overall thoughts about the offensive skill position players absent quarterback. We've got more names now. I absolutely think there are some additional names. We didn't talk through all the running backs. We got to get through some defense as well. But you've got to be, especially for Dynasty, you've got to be feeling a little bit better about those picks today. I would still move them for 27 if I could, but you've got to be feeling a little bit better about those picks today than you were going into the combine. All right, we're going to take a quick break. After the break, we're going to touch on the defensive side of the ball, any additional news that dropped around the NFL, talking all things NFL Combine. We appreciate you being in the building. If you're new, we have a good time every time. We only ask that you support the channel by hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing. If you're watching here, subscribe to the channel, help us grow. Jay Rich is doing a lot of dope content. You'll see one of the previews for one of the athletes right after the break. Former USC and Green Bay Packers linebacker Clay Matthews was a freak of nature. 6'3", 255 pounds. He ran a 4.58 at the NFL Combine. He could rush the passer, drop into coverage, and play multiple spots across the front seven. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, led the league in sacks in his second season. He's one of the most versatile linebackers in NFL history. Why am I bringing him up? Because I watched every snap of a 6'4", 243-pound former 5-star safety who voluntarily moved to linebacker at Ohio State. Put up 100 tackles in his first year at the position, became PFF's highest-graded tackler in all of college football in his second year, and he won a national championship along the way. Most linebackers have to learn coverage. This dude already knew it. Who is Sonny Styles? I'm about to tell you right now. That is the prospect profile video mini movie. Shout out to Jay Rich on Ohio State linebacker. Sonny Styles, and that will transition us to the defensive side of the ball. Check that out on the channel. Hit the thumbs up button, like it, and share it. Sonny Styles, absolute monster of a player, Jay, and he had a monster combine performance. My God. Whatever hope I had, Jay, watching that is as well as I wanted him to do for the video and for the views and all of that, my heart is crushed. My heart is broken because there's zero chance, Jay Rich, that he falls to the Dallas Cowboys. Zero.
It's not happening.
It will not happen. Sonny Styles. But let me just, should I pull it up or should we read? Let's pull it up and read it to the people. Sonny Styles, 6'5", 244, 10-inch hands. He ran a 4.46, 1.56 10-yard split, 43.5 vert, 11.2 broad jump, short shuttle 7.09. I mean, wow. What a show he put on in Indianapolis. To see him move around the way he did, I believe, and I've seen a couple of people on board with me, Jay.
Okay.
I wouldn't just plug him in the middle like Ray Lewis, like Brian Urlacher. I'm not doing that. I'm moving him around. He can rush the passer. He can get after the quarterback. He is an athletic weapon on the defensive side of the ball. His production numbers this past year, you did the video. You saw him. You heard about him. You read him. It's incredible. This might be a top 5 pick come April, Jay. He may not even get past the Giants at 5. I don't think there's a chance in hell he falls to 12 to Dallas now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question I was going to ask you is, I mean, top 5 feels almost inevitable for him.
It feels like it, man. It feels like it.
Yeah, for anyone who missed it, the Jets traded Jermaine Johnson, their edge rusher, away for T'Vondre Sweat, and they're going to be switching to a 3-4 defense going into next season. And so that started the conversation of, okay, the Jets are at 2. We know Mendoza's going number 1. Where do they go at number 2? People were talking Arvell Reese, David Bailey. We'll get into those guys as well. But is Sonny Styles for you in the conversation at number 2? Because he can play off ball in that 3-4, or he could play in the middle if Aaron Glenn wanted him to. But do you really think there's a shot he goes at 2? Or do you think he's probably a bit further down the board?
I think he's on the board. No doubt. They're going to do their homework. Jets are taking one of Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, maybe a Caleb Downs. I do believe it'll be a defensive guy. I do believe it will be an Ohio State guy. For those of y'all out there, I tweeted out, Jay, there's never been an NFL draft in the modern draft era where 4 players from the same school were top 10 picks. Never happened in the modern draft era. 4 players. We've had a bunch of players from the same school go round 1. I think Miami had 6 or 7 in one class go round 1. But we've never had a class where 4 players from the same school go inside the top 10, and we may have that happen this year. I think it's going to be one of Reese or Sonny Styles, and you brought up Arvell Reese. Let's just switch over to look at the edge rushers. His combine was equally as incredible. 4.46. He said, hey, Sonny, I got to get you by a 100th of a second. 6'4", 241.
Crazy.
Ryan Day, what the hell are you doing out there? I mean, y'all shouldn't have lost the damn game. I think it's going to be one of Reese or Styles or Downs. Incredible performance from Sonny Styles. But, Jay, here's the thing. The whole linebacking group was great. Nobody's talking about Anthony Hill. This was the guy that was projected to be a top 10 pick coming into the season. He goes out there. He's a 4-5 guy. Jumps high in the vertical, athletic. Anthony Hill looks good. You work your way down the board. Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech look good. Jake Galladay, good times really here. Good. You got the kid out of Pittsburgh, the coverage linebacker. This group of linebackers, off-ball linebackers, devalued. What a performance by the defensive guys on the first night of the combine to really set that joint and the tone for the entire weekend. Styles, Hill, Luis, Rodriguez Galladay, all look good, man. They all look good, dude.
Yeah, Rodriguez is probably the one for me that I was very skeptical to say he could go first round, and I think after his agility drills, he will probably be a first-round pick.
You think Rodriguez is going? I don't know. If
people know the on-the-field IQ is there for Rodriguez, right?
Yeah,
they
said,
is
no
he
doubt.
Fast enough?
No doubt.
He ran 4.6. And then I believe he was sub-7 in the short shuttle.
Oh, his agility drills
were like top 2, I think, amongst all linebackers in both categories.
Yes.
And that's when you say, like, okay, we know this guy's not the fastest, but if he can move laterally and move quickly, he will be a fine, successful linebacker in the NFL. And I think that's where you look at his agility drills and say, he's someone that is probably rising up boards because I think he was probably a early to mid-second.
Number
and I
one
think
in
he
the 3
could go
cone.
Much higher than that. Yeah.
Number 1 in the 3.
He surprised a lot of people.
6'9" is moving. I mean,
under 7 is very fast.
I mean, look at the no cornerback hit that. No cornerback hit that. No tight end hit that. You had 2 receivers with faster short area agility. Running backs, there's only one who did it, and Emmett Johnson shouldn't have done it. I get what he was doing, but he should have sat that one out. But yeah, one of the fastest 3-cone drills of all players and all participants at the Combine. I thought he did a really, really good job, Jay, of improving his draft stock. Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech. Let's go to the edge rushers. Let's go to the edge rushers really quick, Jay, and look at the defensive ends. Arvell Reese right there. I think it's going to be Reese at 2. If you had to ask me today, I still think that maybe, especially with them moving off of Jermaine Johnson, it's like that opens up that spot. And Reese talked about wanting to rush. Like, I want to do some more of that opposed to playing like this off-ball backer position. Cassius Howe, a little bit smaller than expected. David Bailey, a player that you've talked about, I've talked about. He had a great combine as well. Polished. Some people were talking about him in one of the drills, but it is what it is. I'm not too worried about that. R. Mason Thomas, not as fast as I thought he would be, but again, 40-yard dash, edge rusher. I just want to get off and burst. Overall, this was about the kind of big guys coming in, doing what they needed to do. We didn't see anything from Ruben Bain, nothing from Bain. So that's the only thing we saw was the shorter arms, which we already knew.
For him and Howell.
Yeah, we already knew. And Cassius Howe, I believe, fell a little bit. This Malachi Lawrence, though, out of UCF, is definitely a player that's going to rise.
They were talking about him like crazy.
6'4", 253, and he goes out there and at 1.59, 10-yard split, 40-inch vertical jump. We got to look at him a little bit more. I haven't seen any of his game yet, so that was a nice name to put on the radar for us this weekend. Let's go to defensive tackle spots, Jay, because there was an early winner. Caleb Banks came in. He was big. People feeling excited about him. His size looking good. Lee Hunter didn't perform as well as people thought. And then your boy Peter Woods, nowhere to be found. Peter Woods waiting for that Clemson Pro Day. Oh, Peter Woods. So Caleb Banks, I think, definitely gets a little stock up after the Combine. But let's get to I was just so impressed with the defensive backs, Jay Rich, and in particular, one defensive back that I've been here prior to the Combine. I mocked him to Minnesota 18 and was called a fool, Jay Rich. But they got another one. The Exciting Whites have added another name to the list of freak athletes, and his name is Dylan Thieneman. Jay Rich went to Purdue, transfers to Oregon, balls out at Oregon. This brother ran a 4.35 40-yard dash at safety. 6 foot, 201
Crazy.
pounds, 41-inch vertical jump. But get this, Jay, you know what that 10-yard split was? 1.52 10-yard split from Thieneman.
What?
Jay Rich.
1.52. That is crazy fast.
5.2. Wow. 1.52.
That is really fast. Wow.
Jay, I mean that is moving for Dylan Thieneman, who is absolutely going to be on the rise here. That was, let's go overall. That had to be one of the top 5 times overall for the splits. Got Zach Branch up there, Bryce Lance, 149. Where's Dylan Thieneman? You got Mike Washington up there, Brazel. Yeah, there's Dylan Thieneman right there. Safety right
Pretty
there
good.
in there with
Top
Brazel,
20.
with Mike Wash. Elite explosiveness. He's going to be a first-round pick.
For sure.
I don't know if it will be him or what's the other guy like EMW? Emmanuel McNeil Warren.
McNeil Warren, yeah.
I don't know which one it's going to be. I mean, he had a good one too. I mean, McNeil Warren participated. He did very well. His combine 6'3", 201, 4.52, 158. Thieneman might be there as safety too for some folks after Caleb Downs, who didn't do anything.
Yeah, could be for sure.
I was very.
He looked really good, and he looked good in drills too. Like he just, and that's I think for me, because I knew about him from you, I was kind of paying more closer attention, and I thought he looked a little bit better than McNeil Warren at times in some of that stuff. Like I think people will value that. And how high do you think he could go? Because you've mocked him in the top 20. I don't think he'll go much higher than that.
I mocked him in the top 20 2 months ago, Jay.
But
2 months ago,
you look to the Chargers could take him. Pittsburgh maybe could use him. Carolina could definitely use him. Minnesota could. Detroit probably could utilize him. Tampa Bay, I don't think needs a safety, but maybe they would look that direction, and Baltimore.
No, they got Winfield and.
Oh yeah, they got Winfield and then the other guy. But like right around that range, anywhere probably 25 to 18, 17 could definitely use a safety there. So that's probably his range and a good spot for him to go, honestly.
Sonny Styles' little brother balled out too. I mean, I know we haven't talked about Lorenzo Styles, but 4.27, 149 split, 39-inch vertical jump. They need to study his dad's semen like they do horses, those thoroughbred horses, man. They just need to collect that sample and save it for the apocalypse, Jay Rich, and just reproduce everybody with that Styles semen.
No comment.
Hot and bothered on a Monday, Jay Rich. Cornerback position, what we do? What do the cornerbacks do? D'Angelo Pons, small, but not too small.
Explosive.
Well, here's the thing. He's listed at 5'9". He came in at 5'9". He was, close to 200 pounds for Pons. He ran fast. He had big corners. Like, just look at the times of these defensive backs. Man, when you're talking about the worst one, come on, TJ Hall. You can't be 4'6" out there.
You ain't going to make it.
Colton Hood, 4'4". Malik Muhammad, 4'4". Damani Jackson, he's not that great, but 4'4". You've got some true speed guys out here for the cornerback, but I really like D'Angelo Pons coming in where he was. He wasn't 5'7", he wasn't 170 pounds. Like, that's probably going to be a high day 2 pick. He's not going to go round 1 because 5'9" corner, you can't go round 1, but I absolutely can take you in round 2. And I think that's where Pons will be. Overall, this group, Chris Johnson played well. Somebody we wanted to see out of San Diego State. Very impressed with the defensive side of the ball and the performances we saw in Indy. And now what's going to happen is we go through the rest of the pre-draft process. The pro days, we'll see how the ones who didn't test, how they do at the pro days, how they move at their private workouts, and more importantly, what the NFL does here in the next couple of days when free agency ramps up. That will help kind of fill in some of the spots in the buckets. But
what do teams need and what do they need type stuff. Yeah.
What I want to do real quick, Jay, is pull up Mel Kiper's winners and losers from the draft and just kind of talk through what some people are saying about that. But give me your thoughts on the event overall.
I thought it was really good, honestly. Like, for me, who typically watched it more from an offensive lens, like, I was much more engaged with the defensive side, and I thought, like, this class is going to be a really good one. And I kind of said it off the open. Like, for me, the bottom of the first round got a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be following this combine. Like, there's a lot of athletes, a lot of good players. Again, they're not going to be top 15 picks, but you can afford to take a raw, maybe not developmental, but like a player that you can work with in the back of the first round, and they can be a really good player for your team down the line. So it makes me feel good about those Patriots. Maybe we can get a good player at the back of the first.
I mocked up Mark Cooper to y'all. I think you would be happy with that right now. You would buy that Cooper jersey.
I would love it, but Ray, I mean, the way that he ran, I don't know if he's going to be there at the back of the first anymore. Like,
well, let's
see. But some people have him over Boston now.
Let's tap in with let's tap in with Mel. Let's tap in with Mel and see what Mel. Why they got these old shoes, man? I don't wear these shoes, Jay Rich. They're trying to make me look bad on the show. I don't wear them, dog. Come on, man.
They're comfortable, though.
I don't wear them Hokas. I don't wear those, man. Only when I go to Disney. Only when I go to old. Don't be that guy that goes to Disney with a knee brace on. Don't do that. You gotta tough that thing out. You cannot go with the soft ace bandage on your knee.
Some people need it. You know what, Ray? Here's the thing.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Would you rather them injure themselves at Disney,
absolutely
ruining the trip for everybody, than just maybe you wear some pants to kind of hide it a little bit?
They wear it over the pants, Jay Rich. They wear it over.
That's the worst. When you wear a brace over pants, it's like, bro, what are you doing? At least get some like compression on or something, but you can't wear it over the pants.
Let's talk about Mel. Mel Kiper, these are the players that rose, these are the players that fall. Mike Washington Jr., absolutely. I mean,
100%. Perfect RAS score, 10 out of 10 amongst all running backs.
Chris Brazzell, we did not talk a lot about him, but he's big, he ran fast. He said he's not like the other Tennessee receivers. But Mel's got Chris Brazzell there as a riser out of Tennessee. Zachariah Branch.
I'm not buying it, man.
Yeah, I think I'm out.
He wasn't even that fast. Like, he was fast, but he wasn't that fast.
He ran a 4.35. That's pretty fast. That's
okay. Is that going to help him?
You've been good. Don't do that. It's pretty. He was fast. That's fast. That's Jay. That's flying.
Brennan Thompson was fast.
Brennan Thompson is silly. That there's fast, and then there's like.
All right, fine. If you think that's
that
fine.
4.2 is ridiculous. 4.35 is plenty fast enough.
It's fine.
5'9", 177. The thing that just concerns me more than anything is just his profile. He's just a yak guy, and I've learned my lesson with buying into those guys at the next level. I've learned my lesson. I've been burned too many times about players that can't run the full complement of routes that are just schemed that way. No, thank you. Caden Proctor, I'm still in. You're 6'7", 350. I'm in. You're 6'7", 350. I've got to try. Okay. Dennis Sutton, DN out of Penn State, was getting some buzz. There goes Malachi Lawrence.
Was really good.
We talked about him. Jack Kelly, another linebacker out of BYU. Another linebacker, Carson Shahar out of Iowa. And then there's D'Angelo Pons, 5'9", 182. Charles Demings. I saw my boy James Foster tweet about Charles Demings and some of his tape out of Stephen F. Austin. There goes Kyle Louis, the linebacker safety out of Pittsburgh. Very good coverage. A lot of hype
about him.
Yeah, very good coverage. Very good coverage guy. Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina, slot nickelback, 6'1", 210. Bud Clark out of TCU, another riser, according to Mel. Are those fallers? Those are risers, right? Yeah, those are players rising up the board. Let's see. Do you have any followers, or are you just all positive right here? Is this all positive?
It's positive on a Monday,
top
right?
workouts. It's all his top workouts. Okay,
that's positive.
Those are Mel's top workouts.
We don't need to go after Carnell Tate. We don't need to go after Mekhi Lemon. All right, we don't need to.
So you think those guys are fallers, huh? Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon.
Followers. They didn't separate themselves.
You didn't talk about
Lemon
Jordan.
Didn't run.
You didn't talk about your boy Jordan Tyson coming in at exactly the same size as the comparison that you gave him almost a year and a half ago. I'm giving Jay Rich credit here because he said, Ray, I watched your summer scouting film on Jordan Tyson, and I think he's baby Jamar Chase. He measured in at 6 foot, 203 pounds, 6'2", 203, and then he repped 27 reps on the bench press. This dude's strong as shit, Jay.
Yeah, the bench press is hilarious because while the form was interesting, like the fact he could do it at all, I was still like, that's pretty.
How many 225s can you hit?
0 at this current time. I can't hit 225 right now.
Okay.
But the more surprising thing, and I'm curious your thoughts because I did not think he was 6'2". Like, if you told me Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate were basically the same height, because I think that Carnell Tate was 2.8 versus 1.8 for Tyson, they're both 6'2". And I was like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, the weight, I'm not buying the weight. He's not running. He's not in like proper shape. He didn't play at the back half of the season. He's probably closer to like 190 after he's been playing and stuff. I'm not really buying the 200 pounds in terms of his play weight.
You're talking about for Tyson still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Tate wasn't Tate like 195 or something? Like, there's no world to me where Tyson is heavier than Tate.
I think it was like 190. I think it was like 195.
And then Lemon was he 185? No, he couldn't have been that small.
So,
but even him not running,
let me. I pulled up another one because I wanted to see some stock downs. Right, I wanted to see a few stock downs. Who some of the analysts are saying stock down, and I went to NFL. I got to move it over some.
Yeah, you're good.
Owned by ESPN now, I guess. But Chase Besantis, the guard out of Texas A&M, stock up. Yeager Burton, center out of Kentucky. I don't know who that is, so stock up for him. We've got the Arizona State tower. I got to learn how to say Max's last name.
I've heard a lot of people say that he looked really good.
Yeah, Logan Jones, another center, Emmanuel Prignon. These are O tackles. I guess these are all O-line, stock up, stock down. Interesting that your boy Spencer Fanu, and they acknowledge everything that you said you saw. Great on-field workout. The on-field workout was great for Spencer Fanu. 32 1/8 inch arms. Will Campbell was 32 5/8 inches, and we saw what happened with him at left tackle. So a lot of people are saying, I'm a little concerned about the T-Rex arms and drafting him top 10 to play left tackle.
Was really
and
good, though. His footwork was really good.
I'll just say this.
Who's the Miami guy?
Let's be real. Was he a better prospect than Will Campbell? No.
Probably not.
No.
Probably not. But do you think he has less glaring flaws than Campbell? I think people would say maybe.
I think we're being revisionist. Campbell was about as solid as he was when he came out, man. Nobody was really
very good.
Outside of the arms, nobody was questioning much of anything about Will Campbell.
They thought he could make it up, right?
They thought he could make it up because of the technique.
But that was weird. They said the technique, and then everyone now is saying, well, he doesn't have good technique. It's like,
Because
well,
people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
But
Let's
he was
go
also
to
the only guy. There wasn't another tackle really that was, I guess, Member
quarterback,
was probably the closest
running
one.
back, receiver, stock up according to who's. Let me give him his proper credit. It's our boy Chad Reuter. Chad Reuter.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Skylar Bell.
Not
Skylar
bad.
Bell
He had a good combine.
had a good combine. Yak guy, not very interested. Zachariah Branch, good combine. Small yak guy, not very interested. Taylor Green, we discussed him. Can't hit the broadside of the barn. Still kind of interested because he's a quarterback and he can run around. Bryce Lance, very interested. Very interested. Very interested. Athletic is all outdoors. Fast. We knew he was fast. He was very good at Indy SU. Good production there. I already kind of liked him. So Bryce Lance, just check the boxes and we move on. Jacoby Lane, I did not expect to see the type of athleticism that we did out of Jacoby Lane. And I think that's the biggest issue with Lane. He looks great when like things are wide open and there's not conflict and there's not a bunch of stuff going on. It's whenever like the real football starts, you want to see him be more consistent. Xavier Thomas out of LSU, wide receiver. Mike Washington, running back out of Arkansas, stock up. Let's see stock down. Malachi Fields, we didn't talk a lot about him.
Didn't need to.
The agility was really good for somebody his size, but the downfield ability from like a big body clasher being this slow, it's just...
You know what his profile is.
I
It's
think
big
what it will
body
do,
down the
I don't
field,
think his
not
40 time is going to make him any better or worse of a player, but I absolutely think it's going to impact where he's drafted. I think it's going to impact where he's drafted. Emmett Johnson, a faller, according to Chad Reuter, 4.5 at 202, doesn't like the speed. I'm
especially
more concerned
at that weight, too.
I'm more concerned with his battleship turning like agility with a 7.323 cone. He's not that good to me. I watched the tape. I don't think he's NFL quick. I don't think he has the explosiveness required at the position. I think he's okay. I think he's a poor man's Jamal Williams at best. Carnell Tate, that 4.53, kill him. He shouldn't be drafted in round one. Get Carnell Tate out of round one. Terrible player. Too slow. 4.53. D ends and tight ends. Everett, the cornerback out of Georgia, had an explosive time. We've got a tight end, John Michael Gillenborg out of Wyoming. That sounds like a Wyoming name, and he is white for those of you not watching. Chris Johnson out of San Diego State, cornerback, a riser. Pride Jr., Torino Pride Jr. out of Missouri. Okay. Those Missouri kids running fast. There goes Kenyon Sadiq, obviously Eli Stowers, Lorenzo Styles, Dylan Thieneman. Let's go, DT. Fallers, Davidson Igbenosum out of Ohio State. A lot of penalties last year, and the 40 time didn't inspire the confidence. That's what Chad is saying. Max Clare.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. It's got McNeil Warren as a faller, Jay, because of how good Jalen Kilgore and Genesis Smith and Dylan Thieneman's athleticism translated. So he's got Emmanuel McNeil Warren as a faller. And then we go D-line linebackers. You know who will be here. Monte Capehart, one of the Clemson guys that actually did something, was there. I've got a linebacker out of TCU. I don't know who that is. Helton out of Oklahoma. I've seen his number in his game. Haven't watched any of his tape, but his testing at 293 pounds, 4'8", good Lord.
Crazy.
Malachi Lawrence, Sonny Styles. Caden McDonald gets a stock down. LT Overton and R. Mason Thomas. All kind of stock downs. And you can't see it, but you know how the pop-up windows play videos? They've got Sonny Styles' combine workout, his numbers compared to Calvin Johnson, Megatron. Yeah. Like what they did. It's Sonny Styles and damn Calvin Megatron Johnson. Yeah. All right, Jay, anything else? Let me check the news feed real quick to see if we've missed any kind of NFL stuff, but anything else combine related. We are going to redo that mock now that we've got more information. We'll probably do that on Thursday. But what else? Anything else from the combine?
I don't think so. You know, a lot of it was, at least for me, because we did miss Thursday. It was just a lot of
we did miss
stuff.
Thursday. Yeah, I was out for the family. Yeah,
which is fine. I mean, it's a lot of small things. GMs going to the podium talking about players. You know, like Sean Payton talking about how he could potentially look at running back. Right.
Running back.
And a few other small things, but at that point, this is all kind of old news, and we want to talk combine anyways, but we'll probably get into that as the offseason progresses. You know, we have franchise tag deadline, I believe, is tomorrow. So we have most of them
tomorrow?
done. George Pick, I believe it's tomorrow. Yes, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe it's the 3rd. So, and we know George Pickens going to get tagged. Kyle Pitts going to get tagged. Alec Pierce will be tagged or will be re-signed. We'll kind of wait to see what happens there, but it seems like he's going to stay in Indy. So a lot of just small things there, but I think franchise tag news will be kind of the main thing over the next couple of days, and then going into free agency after that, I think it's a week after the franchise tag deadline.
Give me, if you had to project the top 5, just top 5 picks right now, Monday morning, fresh after the combine, I'm going to give you the teams, you give me the players, all right?
Okay.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Mendoza.
New York Jets.
I think it's going to be Reese.
I do too. Arizona Cardinals.
Man.
Francis Malinois, the tackle that a lot of people put in the slot, did nothing at the combine.
He didn't do anything, yeah.
Did not participate. Spencer Fano, you're not taking short arms at 3. You're not taking Caleb Lomu at 3. Monroe Freeling, what did I tell you? He was a riser, but you're not taking him here either.
Freeling had it.
He's not, but you're not taking him here. So what do the Cardinals do if they've got to sit there? I think it's one answer and one answer only, Jay. And I think you just do it.
I think they'd probably go Caleb Downs.
Okay.
I think you could go
Tennessee.
Sonny.
No, I was going to say
Tennessee's going to take Bailey, in my opinion.
Tennessee's taking David Bailey.
Yeah.
And then who's at 5? The Giants.
The Giants would take Styles at 5.
What about Jeremiah Love?
They could. I don't think they will, though. I think Jeremiah Love probably goes Washington and New Orleans. I don't think he goes top. You can make the case for him top 5. I don't think anyone's going to do it, though. Tennessee is probably the most interesting, just to help out Cam Ward. But I don't know, man. I think
my top 5.
If it was me, I think that Reese and Bailey have to be off the board for me to consider taking Jeremiah Love.
If I had to do 5 right now, 1 would be Mendoza, obviously. 2 would be Arvell Reese. 3 would be Jeremiah Love. 4. I'm gonna still stick with Ruben Bain. I'm gonna still stick with Ruben Bain. You knew the arms were short. I'm not worried about it. I mean, I saw Mike Renner talking about him, saying that like this dude is the most explosive, powerful edge for his size that he scouted. I'm still going to stick with Ruben Bain at 4. At 5, I think that's where Sonny Styles is off the board. If Styles is there, I think the Giants he's off
would be
at
crazy
5.
to pass on Styles. Could you imagine that pass rush?
Brian Burns,
like they already
Dexter
have Brian
Lawrence,
Burns, Abdul Carter, Dexter
Sonny
Lawrence,
Styles.
and Sonny
Oh my
Styles.
gosh. Oh.
And he wouldn't have to play off ball. He could play in the middle, but he could move around a lot with all the pieces they have on defense.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Jay. Well, that's the show. That's the show. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Monday, we are probably back to Mondays. Mondays and Thursdays, it's the off season, so we just try some different things. So pull up every Monday and Thursday for now for Wake Up with Ray and Jay. If you're not here, you can catch the podcast on the podcast feed, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher,
Yes,
Google. Link is in the description below. Let me say goodbye to some of the people, Jay Rich, before we get out of here. Daniel saying the Cardinals should take Jeremiah Love. What are your thoughts there?
I don't disagree. I think they have more pressing needs, but I would not be surprised if they took him at all.
Debro said the Giants. Giants very interested at running back in the draft or free agency.
So you're saying trade that Scatterbo? Well, I still can.
I'm not saying that. I'm just, Bryce Lance is Christian Watson. That's from our man Gil. Yep, Debro said it, Christian Watson. And then Jason said Nate Tice had his dad on the pod last year, and he was down on Will Campbell. So there were people out there not universally sold that he was going to be the next best left tackle in the NFL. Appreciate y'all being in the building. Thank y'all for the support. Thank you for the love. Hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, and we will be here on Thursday. Wake y'all asses up with me and Jay Rich. Have a great Monday. Enjoy March. We out. Peace.
Peace.